Okay, yeah, so this is a recovery routine that I'm doing at the moment, and just starting with basic wall angel, keeping wrists, elbows, shoulders, back of the head, upper back and hips all up against the wall. Try and move arms, keeping them in a 90-degree position, and trying to get the two palms to touch each other at the top. So that's like a basic stretch to start with. And then go into the band pull aparts. So bands are relatively cheap to get hold of these days, and I mean, this one I'm using only cost me about 50 pence. Definitely recommend using bands for shoulder warm up or also rehab work. And this is just basic pull aparts from overhead and in front. Ideally I'm trying to keep my arms completely straight, but as I bring my hands closer together on the bands, it kind of increases the resistance. So I'm just looking for a bit more resistance to start with this warm up. And when I bring my elbows close to my sides, 90 degree, that's where I'm doing some rotator cuff work. So this is all just rear delt, mid trap, lower trap, just warming up the shoulders. And I generally start off with a lighter band, and then I should move up to a slightly heavier band. And this is now the rotator cuff work. So really keeping my elbows touching against the side of my ribs, so close to my body. Really my elbows are horizontal to the floor, elbows and wrists are the same line, but because the camera line is slightly lower, you can't actually see that. So the camera view doesn't show that. I'm actually trying to keep my hands in a same horizontal line. You can see I'm straightening my arms a bit better here, so this, like, my arms are warmed up a bit better. The more your arms are straight without bending your elbow on those two pulls, the first two, the better it is, because you're targeting the back of your shoulders better. Here you can see my elbows are coming a little bit away from the center of my body, but ideally I'd keep in contact the whole time with the rotator cuff, external rotation. And this is just a front delt warm up. Just put the band behind my hips and I'm just lifting up, just small front raises, nothing too intense, still just warming up. And now it's like shoulder dislocates, so going all the way from front to back. So this is very common amongst the Chinese weightlifters who use bands as part of their warm up and warm down. And now this is a club swing, just single hand, just doing small to large. And this, you can see, like, from the elbow position, it's going all the way out and all the way into the shoulder. It's actually going completely internal and then external rotations. So I'm like moving, because the shoulder joint probably the most, how do you put it, I mean, it can move in almost all range of motions. It's like ball and socket joint, so it's going like in all directions. So with this, because these Indian club movements are really, you can have so many patterns where you can hit all kinds of ranges. I find it's really beneficial. And now you can see, like, I'm just literally open armed and just big full swing. And this club itself only weighs like 300 grams, so it's not too much strain on the joint. And this you can treat it as a light warm up. I'm using it almost as a bit of rehab work around my shoulders, but definitely recommend this. Obviously, everyone who's taking part in any kind of exercise routine, check with your doctors and stuff like that. I don't like this is specific for me, but yeah, I mean, main physios recommend these kind of exercises. I use it almost as prehab. Now I'm using, like, warm up my wrist. Still maybe getting a little bit too much movement at a high angle. So let me explain. Ideally my hands will be slightly lower, but I'm just getting back into using the routine, because if you keep your hands at a kind of 90-degree position, it's slightly better. A little bit higher there. But now I'm working both shoulders at the same time. So internal to external rotations. And it's just nice to play around with the patterns, and you can learn new patterns as you go. It just keeps it slightly interesting. And it's not going to take you longer than 10 minutes. just a bit of light work. Something I'll probably add in before going through a kettlebell routine or something like that. Helps with obviously wrist, elbow and shoulder joint strength. So that's it.